Good evening, Rush Nation. How the devil you doing? My name's the Joel Hewitt, aka the hat rack with a heart of gold. I'm here with the other one, Alex. You can't see the woods for the trees, Woods, and Pete, the off-season champion. Boys, how we doing?
I've been better. I've been better after this weekend.
And why would that be, Peter?
Because there were only 16 games. For some reason, they didn't play a game
Weird.
It was so weird to not play that game in Detroit. I don't know why they didn't, but it was just a bit of a downer on the weekend.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh.
Alex, how you been, brother?
Yeah, I've never done a flu game pod before, but we're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna see if Michael Jordan. Nearly said Michael Jackson. Jesus, that was a different flu game, I tell you. Michael Jordan, right there, actually was chatting complete nonsense, and you can actually perform really at a high level, or he had some serious things to do.
What I can't wait to see is the insane flu/cough syrup takes that are going to come from Alex, because he's not exactly the most level-headed on the pod as it is. So just waiting for the Tixie licks to kick in is just going to be absolutely fantastic. Oh gosh. Anyway, week 2 under our belts. Let's kick off, shall we? Yes, I took my time and actually made some transition stuff today, so that's going to be a fun little bit for you. Did you enjoy that one, Alex?
That was sick. I really like that.
Yeah. I stayed up for like 3 hours after last week's pod going, nope, this is happening. And then forgot to do one for the news, so I had to do that instead of my actual day job today. But Ragav, if you're listening from Canada, that's my boss. I'm sorry, mate. I was definitely working. Anyway, this week 2, kicking us off. I've just called it Bangers and Trash because you guys know I love a pun, and we like a British reference to get chucked in there. So, doesn't particularly have to be all bangers or all trash or one of the other, but who wants to kick us off with one way or t'other?
I'll kick us off to start with. Banger, the Chargers defense last night.
Wasn't it?
I mean, they are a talented unit, but 3 sacks, 3 interceptions. I don't even think that really tells the full story. The amount of athletic pass breakups and diving stops and everything, Gino just could not get anything going against them. They were relentless from start to finish. Even one of those interceptions was one defensive back batted the ball away, somebody else collected it. They're just tag teaming them back in that secondary. It was horrendous, and they're looking very, very dangerous. Scary to face.
I've seen a few Herbert MVP talks as well coming off of that game. Often I don't spend a lot of time paying attention to the late games or anything. I watch them in 40 and put my eye across here and there. But gosh, I was hooked on that. I was saying to Alex just before we started, I was starting to watch a lot more of the defensive plays and things. And you're absolutely right. The Chargers just it felt personal. And I know they're in the same division, but I've never seen them as rivals. Yeah. It kind of felt like the Chargers saw it as a rival game, and the Raiders didn't realize.
Yeah, I think defensively, the Raiders weren't bad either. I don't think they had a bad game at all. They got a couple of forced fumbles, didn't they? There was the Chargers defense had to be good because the Chargers running backs were not. For a guy that loves to run the ball as much as Harbaugh does, all he's going to be doing all week is practice your handoff, practice your handoff, practice your handoff. Because Hampton did one. Was it Najee did the other? Or was it somebody else? I can't remember who it was. Was the other really, really bad handoff that caused the fumble.
You're right. No, you are right. You're right with who you said.
Yeah. It was brutal, but they just couldn't get anything going on offense. The Raiders, and there was a clip I saw earlier on. If you find it later on, be worth checking out, where one of the sacks on Gianti's effort in pass blocking was just appalling. guy came around the back, he'd not got his bit, and he just stood there and watched his QB get sacked instead of jumping in and just mucking in. And Carroll's not going to have that at all. He's going to tear him a new one. Absolutely tear him a new one for that, because that's not acceptable at this level.
There was a lot of that this weekend. I saw a lot of players giving up early and then QBs hitting the deck. I'm sure that might get mentioned once or twice throughout the rest of the pod. I'm going to go from banger straight to some trash. Anybody catch the Jets? I've just written Jets and highlighted it in different colors. I've written underneath, week 1 was a flash in the pan. Buffalo was so dominant, I stopped paying attention.
Yeah, and Josh could come out of play and then come back in, and Trubisky went in and nobody noticed. It didn't seem to make a difference.
It did not matter.
No,
we were just saying about him getting like hit in the nose, taking a couple of plays off, coming back, just still crushing them.
Yeah, it's a brutal game for the Jets, but they do this, don't they? And it's kind of what we've seen from Fields in his career. He can have games where he looks absolutely electric. I don't think I've ever seen him look as good as he did in week 1, which I think was why people bought back in. But this is why the Steelers and the Bears both moved on from him, because this is in his locker as well. He just couldn't do anything right at all in this game.
The concussion obviously didn't help. He had zero protection all the way through, and he couldn't get anything going. Like, at least with the Steelers, like, you sit there and you go, "Oh my God, this is meant to be an elite level defense." He could maneuver around, he could run around, he could do that. And if we remember back in week 1, it took Jalen Ramsey to make a amazing play for them to not win that game. So, like, are we going, "Oh my God, the Bills are just that level of amazing," and or at least rotted them aside? Or are we looking at the Steelers and going, "Hey, we have question marks about you, because if the Jets can do this against the Steelers but can't do it against the Bills, where are we ranking everybody in terms of that?" But no, you are both right. The Jets were awful.
Interestingly, though, the take on the Steelers being an elite defense, I don't think they are. I think that's now the problem, and I think Sam Darnold, ex-Jet, also saw through him as well. I was just trying to check the score because I knew it felt pretty lopsided, and it was 31-17 Seahawks Steelers. I don't think Justin Fields was good. I think we expected the Steelers defense to be good in week 1. They aren't. It made Fields look good, and we all got conned into starting them in fantasy, did we, Pete?
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah. Cheers. Start.
Good. Just wanted to make sure. If you want to tune into the flagship show on a Thursday night, I'm sure Murph's probably got some advice for you. In fact, he did the waiver wires this afternoon. You might want to watch that one as well.
Thanks. Yeah, cheers. I need my entire team to go up onto waivers. I think I got 46 points this week. It was brutal. Absolutely horrendous.
I'm just saying, play anybody who's playing the Steelers at this point.
Yeah. Seems fair.
Nothing wrong. Alex, you got a banger or trash for us?
Let's go. Let's build off off what we've just said. And my trash is actually the Steelers. I'm not overly impressed. Like, obviously, we've just built on their defense bit, but I'm not impressed offensively either. Aaron Rodgers obviously had some interceptions this weekend. The one right at the very end to end the game was ugly, with a capital ULGY. It was awful. I only saw 2 really good throws from him in the entire game. One was for DK's touchdown, and the second was just a moon ball to Pat Fairmouth, where he's under pressure, and Rodgers actually showed that he still has a bit of legs and gets it out before he gets hit, and Fairmouth brings it down and goes out of bounds, like in between 2 coverage. So that was great and amazing, and we're like, "Oh my God, we've got a game." And then it's just like, "No, we don't, actually. We really don't. Thanks, Aaron. We have hope. We had it, and now you've just taken it all away from us." It was awful. And then the one team we really don't mention, special teams. They obviously allowed the reception to go all the way through the end zone by muffing it and give the Seahawks 6 points anyway. So that was
incredible.
Was a great one as well.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. He's literally his job is to not let that happen, and he just, I don't know. I've not seen an interview. Did he just assume that it was going out, or that it wouldn't be a scoring play, or?
So he caught it and it kind of fumbled out, and it was like, oh, that's going through the back of the end zone. But then the Seahawks
that's
were
a
like,
shame.
no, it isn't.
Just what? Check. You should know this by now. Yeah, just be right. That's all it takes.
You're fine.
And now he's fourth choice running back, and he's been kicked off special teams as well. They've said, haven't they? He's not returning anything now. Shock horror.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless him.
That was horrendous.
It was DK revenge game. It looked like it for a second though, didn't it? Like DK was the big I am, got his touchdown, cameras in on him, he's all swag, and everyone was like, oh, he's here. And the commentator's like, oh, now they're gonna regret not. Nah, don't matter. Actually, we could do it with Sam Darnold and a bunch of people that we found at the bottom of a cereal box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta beat bangers or trash.
So I'm gonna go with an obvious banger. Detroit Lions. 52 points, particularly after they've been much maligned. And I think I said that first week that people are going to worry about them because of what they do against the Packers. And they lose to the Packers, but the Packers are just that good. And that's proven out that the Packers have shown that they're really, really good so far. And the Lions have shown that actually they're also good. They might not have been quite as good week one, but on Sunday they were horrifically brutal. To the point, you know how good your team has been when the opposition coach gets questioned in his press conference and they're saying, do you think it was fair that he was running up the score on you at the end of the game? And Ben Johnson was so angry. He was like, well, what's he supposed to do? That's what they do. That's in their DNA. They don't, they always go for it. They don't kick. And like, that's because they were just non-stop on both sides of the ball. Secondary was all over. They were making life hell. They were getting into the backfield, but the nobody could stop them on offense. Their yards per throw was ridiculous. He's like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but because the sheer number of bombs that he was throwing downfield, that nothing could stop them. It was just a masterclass in offense, and the Bears have no answer for it at all. At all.
Yeah, one of the notes I made was on Green Bay actually, but it does relate to this. And I put Green Bay makes everyone look pedestrian. It was the Lions, and now it's Washington. I obviously am not on the Lions bandwagon. I think that there's a drop off there. They were playing the Bears, so I still don't see it, even though I picked the Bears to take that this week. But again, in kind of the opposite of with the Jets, I thought, right, the Lions were trash last week. The Lions are going to be trash this week. The Jets were good last week. The Jets are going to be good this week.
Yeah.
The opposite happened.
They did a Freaky Friday.
They did, yeah. And the timely reference. And the Lions did what they do, like when we get up, we'll bite your kneecaps or whatever it was. Yeah, we lost week one, but now we're going to go against the Chicago Bears and, stop. They're already dead. It felt cruel at one point. Similar to, I stopped watching the Jets game because I was bored of seeing them lose. Every time the Lions came on, I was like, they're probably going to score. You know what? Maybe I'll switch to a different bit of coverage. Shout out to Dazen, by the way. They get a lot of guff online, but the split box that I've been watching, I get Red Zone in the bottom right corner, and then three other games going. I can't pick the three games. They go, you can either watch these three, or these three. But still, it's very good for somebody that's trying to move away from Red Zone. It feels like the vaping of the NFL, where you just like get that quick hit.
This is your apple and cinnamon New York Giants game.
Yeah. So I'm moving away. I'm watching something else, and like when they go to a commercial, I'll either pick one of the other two games or flip over to see what Scott Answer's talking about. But yeah, I guess Alex, there we go. Let's go me again. Banger, you knew it was coming. I've put down New York Giants, Dallas, but really I just want to talk about Scatterbo for a minute. What a guy. Got his first straight in. Yeah. He first tutty of the year for Scatterbo. Enjoyed every second of seeing that guy on TV. He's like 1 yard per carry though, isn't he? Apart from the one like breakaway that was incredible, and bless them for then giving him it to like thumb it in over the line. But yeah, that game, good God, that game. It has no right being a week 2 game between the Giants and the Cowboys. Two teams who haven't been particularly great have just come out looking incredible. Some notes I've made. Scatterbird first NFL today. Fourth quarter changeovers. I counted 4, but I've heard some people say 5. I don't know if they were just getting excited. It just kept changing who was going to win. And I felt very, very bad for the Giants that they lost in the end. They were always going to. That's the thing that we have to understand. The Giants were never going to win that game. It's not their turn. So for them to lose it like that is perfectly fine. I've got 2019 Danger Russ. He looked incredible, Russ Wilson, until he turned into 2024 Russ Wilson, or 2023 Russ Wilson in overtime. I'm not surprised. Bless him, he must have been knackered. That was a lot of football for somebody who isn't actually very good at football anymore.
And his age as well. He just wanted to get home to an Ovaltine, didn't he? By that point,
he did, yeah. He had his slippers on at one point, and he was like, "Oh," had to like take them off and just get straight back out there.
Miss the signature bake. Oh. It's going to be awful.
Nobody tell me. Nobody tell you. I put down Dak for MVP? ? He looked good in week 1. Not his fault that everyone kept dropping him. He looked phenomenal against New York. He just kept doing. It felt like everything was a 2-minute drill. Every time he went out there, it was right. Let's score a touchdown. Like we're not getting beat by this. The headlines will be horrible. So yeah, I think Dak's in a very serious shout for MVP, especially because of maybe some people that might be taking some time off. We'll maybe talk about that later. And then the final thing I put, Dart is going to start versus the Saints in week 5, in my opinion. And that's not a knock on Russ Wilson. What it is they have 2 more really tough games. Then is the time to pull the trigger. They're not going to win those 2 games, so they've got a legit reason to go 0-4 and say, right, well, let's start Dart against the Saints, who are not looking particularly great at the moment. Alex, you shook your head. No Dart? No? You enjoy Russ that much?
Well, there was a stat that were put out that Russell Wilson managed to record the most yards by a Giant quarterback in ages. So, no, I don't think so. I think the hierarchy of the Giants are really, really happy with Russell Wilson. They're making headlines in a positive direction. There are no real negative things. Obviously, as you said, during it was 2019 Dangerous, where it was Mr. Unlimited, and he's absolutely awesome. But like all of the headlines that are coming out of New York about this Giants team are positive. Until that turns negative, then we can't even look at going, no, we're not doing this, we're not doing this. I think what the Giants want to do is they really want to. Everyone uses the example of Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes, like really a lot. Everyone knew that Alex Smith was not the answer in the Chiefs. He had a really good season. They were average, they were okay, and then Pat Mahomes knew what the NFL was expecting of him, knew what everything was going to be there, and then obviously has never looked back. I think that, not saying that Jackson Dart's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Please don't say that. No one's ever expected that. Let's not say that. Holy moly, let's not say that.
Clip it out. AI, clip it out.
But I really think that if the Giants are going to be serious about anything, they will be serious about going for Russ the entirety of the season. Like for hell or for sale, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think he's looked good, and let's not forget that Daboll's on the hot seat. He came into this season looking like you need to do something special this year, or you're out on your ear. I have to say, I think this every single week. And I don't think anybody else has made this connection, but Brian Daboll looks exactly what Monterey Jack would look like if you shaved him. From Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Shave off his mustache. That's Brian Daboll. He's Monterey Jack from Chippendale.
You'll have to maybe Google this one for some people not in our age bracket, but I see it. Yeah,
that's an old reference. But
and look, I'm not saying that Russ is doing bad. I'm saying that everyone's behind him, but as soon as you 0-4, that's when you can legitimately, he's just in the picture, hasn't he? You can legitimately then swing over to Dart. There's no expectations. The Saints are an easy game. Maybe Russ has a mysterious injury or the flu or something. It happened with, I want to say it was like Tyrod Taylor to get Baker Mayfield in, where somebody like accidentally injected him in the lung. And oh no, we've got to start. I think that was for Baker. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So, so that one wasn't an accident. That was actually it was an accident, but not real, because the doctor actually got sued. So like Tyrod Taylor actually sued the doctor that injected him, and then they punctured his lung because of loss of starting earnings. And Tyrod Taylor won that lawsuit.
Poor Dr. Mayfield Senior.
It was because Baker with a mustache.
Yeah.
Pads, helmet, and everything. Like, I'm a doctor. He's just got a stethoscope on, and he just injects him. He's like, oh, looks like I'm starting out.
With the full Joker face paint from Dark Knight.
Just toddling off. Oh, bless him. So look, that game, I'm sure people have seen it, or at least the highlights or anything, but Giants Dallas, what an absolute. I've watched it again since, not the full thing, I was only in 40, but I just had a great time. I very, very rarely watch a TV show twice, let alone a sport where I know the outcome. I just thoroughly enjoyed myself with that when I did it again this morning. Alex, we got. Oh, go on.
I was going to say, I think there was a lot of that this weekend as well. The Seahawks Pats game gave us a bit of that as well, with the back-to-back punt, touchdown return, kickoff, touchdown return, and that there was just so many games you looked at on paper like, this isn't going to be entertaining, and then it was actually no.
Dolphins Pats for anybody listening along, not Seahawks Pats. So.
Sorry, Fins Pats. Yeah, apologies.
Sea-based animal versus
Patriot. They were amazing.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Because I was just basically watching the Giants game, and you text our group chat saying, who'd have thought that the Patriots Dolphins was going to be like the banger of the week? And I was like, I didn't. I'm watching New York, which was the banger of the week. Speaking of bangers or trash, Alex, Steelers are trash, but what you got for us?
Let's go with the banger, if that's okay. Can I go with the banger? Let's go with the banger. And honestly, I think this guy's just doing it on purpose at this moment in time. I called him out a couple of weeks ago, and now he's just balling out, and he's absolutely amazing. His name's Matthew Stafford.
Ooh, okay.
I was like, he'll be benched. He's a decrepit old man. He can't throw anymore. He can't do this. He can't do that. Can't do the other. 23 out of 33, 298, 2 touchdowns. Yes, there was the one pick, but it was deflected. Obviously, feeding Devontae Adams for 106, giving Puka Nacua 91 of receiving, but obviously Nacua also had 45 rushing. The Rams offense was great this week. The Rams defense was great this week, and it was all led by Matthew Stafford, who is a great game manager, a great quarterback, and obviously this really early on should be looking at that MVP watch. If Dak's in that question, Matthew Stafford needs to be too.
I like it.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
Yeah, and in that division as well, they should walk to the playoffs. They should absolutely coast through to the playoffs. They're piece of cake. And they've got so much talent. They've got such an incredibly gifted offensive mind at coaching Sean McVay. I think because the team had a kind of a couple of up and down years, even though they got to the playoffs last year, I think people have forgotten just how good he is. He doesn't seem to get the flowers that he used to get. It's just become a bit normalized. And yeah, I think they're going to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And they've got people seem to be down this year on Kyron Williams as well, but he still gets it done. He still gets done. He's got the trust of the team and he gets it done. And even Corum got in this week as well, didn't he, with a TD as well? So the running game's working. So all systems go for Stafford, because that running game always helps out with QB, particularly an immobile one like Stafford.
Yeah, and it's they're always kind of a dark horse. Like, I was surprised. I'm always surprised when they make the playoffs, because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, welcome. I forgot that you're a pretty decent team. I don't know if it's because I rarely see them actually on TV. I think there's because the West Coast and whatnot is often later, or they get a lot of prime time because of the star power they kind of like pull in sometimes. So I don't tend to see a lot of it. So I just forget about them completely. And because I kind of have a bit of a thing for the Cardinals and at this point the Niners, I look at that division and I go, oh yeah, it's one of them too. And I always forget that LA is in that.
Yeah. It's what, Niners, Cards, Rams, and Seahawks. Yeah, you're not getting anything. It's nothing but Rams there this year, I think.
I think I've got 3 of them going to the playoffs. Before we'd even seen the snap, I had the Niners, Cards, and the Rams all making the playoffs in that division. Every now and again, you get a division where 3 of them make it, and I think this year it could be those 3 because, I mean, currently they're all 2-0.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you win big or win small. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning. Vin Diesel, Fast and the Furious, when he was trying to steal DVDs. So yeah, I can just see them. They've all got a pretty easy run. There's been a lot of talk about the Niners having the easiest run in the NFL, but the Cardinals also have that same easy run because they're playing the same people, and therefore that's also going to happen. Plus, LA gets to have that same easy run, but also gets to against the Niners and the Cardinals, which I think at this point, if you put all 3 in a head-to-head, you would probably go LA's the better team. Flip a coin between the other 2. And look, the Seahawks don't look bad. I think, are they 1-1? Yeah. So yeah, it's going to go down to divisional wins in there to see, and I think 3 of them are going to make it. Pete, have you got any more? Any bangers? Any trash? What have you seen from week 2, baby?
The only one I'll put, and it kind of let me have a think of this, because I was going to say the Bears defense as trash, but we've already kind of covered that. I will say I do find it strange that the main reason they lost that game was that the Lions put up 52 points. So of course everybody's saying, well, you need to bench your quarterback. No, you need to bench your cornerbacks, but you can't because they're all injured. Everybody's now injured.
They're on the bench.
They're on
the injured bench.
They're just lying down with a foot in a sling. But yeah, it wasn't Caleb in that game. The other one that I'd put in there is I'm just going to put the Sunday Night Football in general as well. As trash forever, and it ties in a little bit to what you said earlier on. Forever, that Giants Dallas game is always prime time because they're just the biggest markets. They always get there, and then this time they go, no, we won't. They get an amazing game, and they get Falcons Vikings, and which was just an awful game. Unless you're a Falcons fan, or somebody that wants to see the Vikings get smushed into paste, because that's what happened. McCarthy got absolutely destroyed in this game. He couldn't get anything going himself. He wasn't good, but his protection was horrendous all the way through. So it just made for really poor TV, and it was just not the best choice of primetime game. And it was just
to the scheduling gods. Like 6 p.m. to like sit and watch that Giants Stars game. That really got me like jazzed for the weekend. I may have had one too many whiskeys watching that. I got a bit too excited. It was just that good. It felt like playoff football, and it was just like, because like for me, playoff football is the best football ever. And I was right there in that zone where I was like, these two, either of them are Super Bowl bound. Like boo Sunday, or scheduling people. I'm going to chuck up a banger, my last one from this, and it's the following O-lines: the Colts and the Broncos. Oh boy, I've started to watch a lot more of like protection and whatnot recently. It's probably from doing this, but I've got a couple of stats from Danny Dimes and Bo Nix. Danny Dimes, 23 of 34, 300 plus yards, a touchdown pass and a touchdown run. He got sacked once for 10 yards. That was it. From a pretty legit Broncos defense. And the Broncos, Bo Nix, 22 of 30, 200 plus yards, 3 touchdowns as well. Both of them were so very well protected. Bo Nix didn't get sacked. He was 0 for 0. So there was one sack in that entire game in a 28-29 absolute classic that say what you will about the end, and I forgot what the stupid penalty was called, but for me, obviously, you know that I've got a bit of a thing for the Broncos at the moment, and I've bandwagoned this cap this one time because I don't think the Colts are going to continue this run, so I want to be on the right side of history right now. But yeah, the protection from their O lines, I will speak of some other ones a little bit later on. But I just wanted to make sure that we are just as positive as we are negative, and the Colts and Broncos protected their guys, allowing all that to happen. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's age-old adage, isn't it? The most important player after your QB is your left tackle, and protect the blind side, but protect your quarterback. Give them the time to do what they want. Give them the time to process. And I saw it in one of the games last night. I can't remember whether it was, I think it was Gino, but one of them, he stood in the pot in a similar type vein, and he could have knitted a jumper in the time he was waiting to throw that ball. He had so much time protection, and just like in those games, it makes such a world of difference to just be able to go, right, I can go through all of my reads a couple of times, make sure if nothing's on, wide receiver can then actually get open and get a second bite at the cherry and make something happen off script. And it's just so important. It's really exciting to watch. Good O-line play makes for good, exciting football, doesn't it? I mean, that opening game, the Ravens v Bills, was because those O-lines played in part, obviously, but in part because those QBs are protected so well. And you don't get an MVP QB without decent protection at all.
Yep, absolutely right. Go on, Alex. Bring us home. What you got for Bangers and Trash week 2?
Well, you've just said we obviously celebrate people and we give shout outs to really good people and everything like that. Like last week I came on here and I absolutely trashed kickers. So let's give some props. Let's give a round of applause. Let's give some absolute brilliance. Brandon Aubrey, 64 yards. Holy moly.
It's a long way.
I don't know if I could run 64 yards, let alone like...
I got 64 yards out.
Exactly, man. Like, what are we doing? 4 of 4 for field goals, 64-yarder that was there, the 46-yarder that won the game as well. Like, absolutely unbelievable. He was automatic. And then, obviously, we need to give a shout-out to Parker Romo from the Falcons as well. Really need to give a shout-out to him. Walk-on player, literally there 5 days. 5 days. Goes 5 of 5. Unbelievable. Didn't know his teammate. If you'd have seen the clip. If you haven't seen that clip, go out and search it. He gets nominated player of the week, and then doesn't know the teammate that also got nominated player of the week. So shakes his hand and goes, "Lovely to meet you."
I really wanted to like big fan.
Absolutely unbelievable. Sorry to jump in, Pete, but Parker Romo isn't just some random dude either. Has got history in the NFL. He was at the Vikings last season when their kicker obviously was out and was money there too. 11 of 12, 7 of 8 for extra points, 11 of 12 from field goals, and then still got cut by the Vikings when their main guy came back. So somebody's found this absolute gem, and he could, if he stays hot, he will be hot.
They must listen to the pod, because last week the guy you particularly went in on was Younghoe Koo, and they were like, right, you're off, mate. I've been listening to Alex. He's got a point. I'm bringing in Tony's lad.
And that's it. We've kicked off. Let's move on to everyone's favorite section.
Yes, sir. News from the underground.
Nice.
I wanted things in the news this week because I put together the definitely not Disney clip of everyone's favorite news from the internet. You know what? I enjoy it that much. I'm going to play it again.
Yes, sir. News from the underground.
Look at that. The production quality of this show has screamed up there. Good luck, flagship on Thursdays. That's all I'm saying. A couple of news stories, not a great deal because we're mainly talking about the actual action and not necessarily new stuff. But this is very one player or ex-player centric. I'm just gonna come out the gate and go with Brady has come out of retirement. The crowd everywhere roars and to make all the money and play flag football for some kind of weird Saudi fanatics flag football competition next year where there's only 3 teams, but like Saquon Barkley's involved and stuff. This is just like Saudi money being thrown. This is as bad as the WWE right now. And anybody care that Tom Brady has decided to come out of retirement to play flag football? Is he going to be in the Olympics? Alex?
I do. As a Newcastle United fan in like English football, the Saudis are very prevalent in my life, but like this is not good news. This is for those that don't know, Saudi Arabia obviously bought Newcastle United, and Saudi Arabia, as Joel said, are involved in WWE. They're involved in boxing. They're involved in Formula One. They're involved in golf. They're involved in anything with a pulse. The only thing they're not involved in at the moment is cricket, because they don't really understand it. So I'm told. But this is another example of the Saudi Arabian sport washing machine, and that's why, as you already said, you've got Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Max Crosby, Rob Gronkowski's coming. Pete Carroll's going to be one of the coaches. Sean Payton's going to be one of the coaches. Kyle Shanahan will be another one of the coaches. And it's going to be one of those that is very, very, very not good for everybody and the NFL.
Can you imagine? It's like it's going to be that point. I know it's flag football, so it's different, but like there's always this complaint that players are absolutely knackered in football, European football, soccer, because they finish the season, they get a week with their family, and then they spend all the time going on Middle East tours and going to the US and constantly playing all of these money games. In a game where it's all about burst speed and things like that, like NFL, if they fly over there and one of your players pulls a hammy or something and misses training camp or misses the first few weeks of the season because they've got an injury from this, I just don't see the point. I get it if it's a one-off because they might say, right, Brady wants to come and be the QB just to make it more high profile that they're doing flag football at the Olympics. I can kind of get that if it's a one-off, just to try and boost that profile. But it just screams Ryan Giggs being picked for the Britain Olympics team when he was like 492, just because he was Ryan Giggs and they wanted a Welsh representative in that team. It was just English players and Giggs, from what I remember. You know, 3 older players. It was Micah Richards, Giggs, and I can't remember who the other person was. It escapes me. It's probably the Scottish player, just for representation. But it just feels like that. I'm just going, come on, what's the point? I'm not for this. I'm sure it'll be fun to watch, but I'm not for this at all.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be really kind of both pointless and annoying, and you just know the trophy or whatever they win is going to be the most gaudy, horrible 6 foot tall statue. They're going to do what they did to your man Messi when he won the was it the World Cup that he won, and they threw I'm just going to call it a hat on him because I don't want to like hurt anyone's feelings, but yeah, they just want to get those pictures, and when Tom Brady wins the trophy and the MVP, so they can chuck all that on him and then stick a picture of him up in a palace somewhere. In other Tom Brady news, Alex, you've put something else about him.
Right, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago that Tom Brady obviously is now allowed in facility rooms, and he's allowed to actually facilitate in meetings while he's obviously a commentator on Fox and doing that lot. And it's now come out that obviously he's meeting Chip Kelly 3 times a week to go over offensive plays. Obviously, Pete was the one that brought it up in the group chat there, but if he's in these meetings more and then meeting with Chip Kelly, their offensive coordinator, more, then surely this is still a conflict of interest. We've got to, somebody's got to do something about this. It is, yes, hashtag no Brady zone. He's not even in the owner's booth. He's pulling a Colts owner situation, and he's sat with all the coordinators in his $10,000 suit, just chilling with a headset on. It's like, what are we doing here, mate? Come on. You have all these things. And as I said to you guys off camera as well, this week he's covering the Washington Bears game, I believe it is, that'll be that Fox one. And then who do the Raiders play in week 4? Well, week 5, sorry. No, it is week 4. Who do the Raiders play?
They're playing the Bears.
They're playing the Bears. So he's going to sit in all these meetings with all these coaches going, oh, no, Caleb's not gelling with this guy. He's not really getting this. Or he's really running a lot of this. And this is really going well. And this defense is a little bit hobbled in. And then he's going to meet with Chip Kelly 3 times that week and go, by the way, here are all the notes, mate. We're going to script up a million plays to absolutely batter the Bears. He could probably do it without it, but still, it's an unfair advantage for every owner.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're going to spill the beans to him when he's in there in his official capacity, because they'll know. But all it takes is 1 or 2 things. All it takes is him overhearing something in the corridor, seeing a player when you go, oh, that guy's injured, and we're getting mixed reports, what they're like. You can see them and you can get that visibility that you might necessarily get from being as part of an organization. I just think it sets an uneasy precedent. And I don't think this would have been allowed if it was anybody but Brady. He's still the face of the NFL to so many people, and he's still so important to them that they don't want to aggravate him. I mean, yes, he's going to watch the Bears-Cowboys game, and then the Raiders got the Bears afterwards. But what's he going to, in that specific instance, he's just going to come up, right, here's my notes, and just lift up a clipboard that says LOL. They're not going to be worried about what they're facing in Chicago. But yeah, I don't like what this means and what it could mean going further down the line.
And why are they letting Tom Brady do it? Is it because, I mean, I've listened to him on commentary. He's fine. But is it because they want him to get more exposure, to maybe be a bit better on the mic? The crazy thing is, if you hear him not on a broadcast when he talks about the game, he's just so insightful. And then the second you stick him in a booth, he just literally fumbles over his own words. It's not particularly engaging. He's not as good as Greg Olsen. He's not as good as Tony Romo. So, maybe they bent the rules to try and get a little bit more out of that. But I guess, watch the space for more Tom Brady news, which is all of our news this week. But thanks for that. We're going to keep into the next section. On to the halftime report. This week is your friend of mine, Alex, with Woody's Roundup. Fantastic. I didn't have enough time to get the tune from Toy Story. Also, I'm not sure how copyrighty I was willing to get with that one, but maybe we'll find a version somewhere for Woody's Roundup. Alex, what you got for us this week with your halftime report?
The question I think on everyone's mind is, who isn't injured now?
Who's not injured? We've just got a list of the people that are not injured. It's short.
Who's not going to be the one that's going to be missing time so far? Let's go through this list, and then we will discuss individually if we need to discuss individually, whatever it is. The big one, Joe Burrow. 12 weeks. Grade 3.
Weeks.
He's going to be back Christmas. Great stuff. That means we're getting Jake Browning for 12 weeks. Bye-bye Bengal season. Sorry, really love Jake Browning, but bye-bye Bengal season. You're not making the playoffs. You're not making the Super Bowl. And you've just spent a lot of money on forward and defensive players for absolutely nothing. Really great stuff. Amazing stuff, guys.
The turf toe thing. Can we find a more serious name for it? Because in the past, I've been led to believe that turf toe was like swamp foot or something like really just like low stakes. Oh, he's got a bit of turf toe. He stubbed it. He's going to be all right, but he's maybe bruised a bone or something. And you put down grade 3. I didn't know there were actual grades, but I do know that he's torn, and I want to say ligaments. I didn't even know my toe had ligaments up until this point. So yeah, to be out until Christmas is absolutely batty. And I feel for a few people in this situation. Everyone that drafted Jamar Chase #1 overall in every fantasy league that I've ever been in this year. Also to is it Jake Browning? I still
it is.
Yeah, okay. So I feel bad for him because the first thing everybody said was, who are they going to trade for? And he was like, it's me. I'm the backup. That's my job, like to back up if the guy goes down. And everyone's like, well, they could like do this or do that. So I do feel bad for him too. I'm feeling pretty decent about having Chase Brown though, and my fantasy team, because I feel like we might get a little bit more of a run. However, we'll probably talk about him a little bit later. I thought Browning looked perfectly good. I didn't think he needs replacing, and they didn't make the playoffs last year. Is it the worst thing in the world if they don't make the playoffs this year? Maybe let some other teams, go try it out, come back brighter, maybe get an even better defense, maybe invest a little bit in some protection.
No, the meme doing the rounds at the minute of 70% of Americans are obese. How can they not find 5 fat white guys to protect Joe Burrow?
I mean, I'll try. I'll put some weight on. I'm coming in at staggering 5'4", so you can see over me.
You just put some weight on the soles of your feet, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I could like weeble and wobble, but not fall down. I'm just like stuck, like in place. But I digress. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's talking about Burrow and the injury. I had legitimate money on him being the MVP this year. When I say money, I'm talking 50p. But I just wanted to be on the right side of history with that one. I was like, looking at the MVP race, I was like, I'm going to have a bet on. So at the end of the year, when he wins MVP, I could say, see, I bet on him to be the MVP, regardless of the £3.75 that I would have made back. And I would give that £3.75 to any charity if Burrow was okay, but he isn't. So I'm just going to have to eat that loss. Who else is injured, Alex? Can't be many more, surely.
We've got we've literally just started the list. We've got Brock Purdy as well. Brock Purdy is like gone. He's not going to make week 4, I think. Brock Purdy is going to be out for a little while. Then we have we've also got Jaden Daniels, sprained knee. He'll probably still play week 3, but he won't be able to run, which, as anybody that has watched the Commanders knows, that's half of his game. So if anyone wants to put the Commanders on Pick'em, you are mad and are like absolutely crazy this week. So if it just gets fun up for it. JJ McCarthy. We also said that JJ McCarthy's probably only had 1 good quarter of football so far this season. It's good because he's going to miss the next 4. Carson Wentz in 2025. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We also have 40. He's done it as well. He's absolutely picked.
I already had.
What a legend. We've also got 14 starters from the Minnesota Vikings, all missing. We said that they were very, very injured. They are very, very injured. Some of them include Jones, their running back, who is absolutely one of their greatest players and is brilliant. All of them are either name starters or second string players. And the Vikings really, really need to just fire their team doctor or physio because something's gone wrong there that is not good enough. Justin Fields, obviously, we discussed earlier, he has a concussion. By the way, that's 16% of the league starters at quarterback that are injured.
Oof. Wow. After 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks. So if we carry on this stratagem, there will be no starting quarterbacks by week 13.
Jeez.
Excellent.
Oh no.
Which is exactly what we all want, a backup central. And then obviously we've got the ones that everybody kind of similarly knew. Xavier Worthy, he's expected to practice this week and probably will play limited snaps this week for the Chiefs, which is massive if you're a Chiefs fan. They don't have any weapons whatsoever. Isaiah Likely, excuse the pun, likely to have limited snaps this week for the Ravens as a tight end. Has grown in like what Lamar's actual very limited thing is. We've already talked. Josh Allen got a broken nose. He'll probably just wear a mask and be molded by the dark, shaped by it. He was born in it after all. And like, there's a Bane reference for everybody. We have Jalen Reed. He fractured his clavicle. He probably is going to be out till Christmas as well. Christian Kirk for the Texans has a hamstring injury. Anybody that watched the Chargers game last night saw that Khalil Mack's elbow bent the wrong way. Elbows do not bend that way. They really don't.
His does.
Yeah. And it was not good. And obviously, Jalen Johnson is out for the season. Oh, God, that was really gross. That was not cool. Sorry, that was right on the corner of my eye. I'm reading on a second screen, and all I see is just Joel's impression of a broken arm. No, that really threw me. Thanks for that. No, that's not good. Jalen Johnson, finally, he's out for the season as well. And there are a host of many, many more smaller time players or second stringers that are out as well. It really, really shows to all of us that NFL squads have to be deeper and have to be good. And you can't just have one set starting 11, one set starting 15, any of this. You've got to have 2 or 3 players that can plug in and play and make sure that position is secure and doing that lot. The problem is when those 2 or 3 players are injured, for example, the Vikings or the Bears, as we've already discussed this today, then you're looking at guys off the street that haven't played or trained in 6 months and going, are you ready? Maybe, please? Somebody?
Yeah.
Can we?
No. Or people off the street. Yeah, that's the scary bit, isn't it? The person next to you, you not know them is fine when you're a kicker, less so when you're a safety.
Yeah.
Or a nose tackle.
And the JJ McCarthy one. I was looking into this because I was watching that game pretty closely because I wanted to, having not seen what everybody saw in JJ McCarthy last week, because I don't think I paid enough attention to the fourth quarter. I just looked at the first 3 and I didn't really think about it. I thought, right, you know what? Got to give the band his shot. And the opposite of the flowers that I gave out for the O-lines for the Colts and the Broncos was, boy, it's like the Vikings were just mad at him. And I know that having done a little bit of research that we're on to, quote, by the end of the game, it was a second string center, already a bad time. And that was after their starter, Ryan Kelly, suffered a concussion in the first half. They were on to their third string left tackle by the time the game ended as well, because they were already on to their second string, who was Skule, who I quote, let JJ get pummeled before getting a concussion of his own. Not intent of just letting his quarterback get hit, decided that he also wanted to get hit. So then they had to move on to Michael Juergens, and he also continued to let JJ McCarthy get hit. So it felt there were just people giving up. Like, it was like, oh, that guy's got around me, and just walking as they watched poor little JJ McCarthy just get absolutely, for lack of a better phrase, blindsided. So yeah, that was pretty rough from that one. The other ones, I mean, tell you what, that's going to roll nicely into the topic of the week. If he can find his, did I do a topic of the week one? No, I didn't. And a topic of the week segment shift. What on earth? Fair enough. Pretend that I did. Yeah, I know what's that about. But that just like slips straight into what is the topic of the week, which is the backupocalypse, which is coming in week 3. I had a look at ESPN's top 12 backups, and a lot of them are still not having to start. But this does kind of like coincide with what we're talking about here. I want to start with the 49ers. I've already talked a big game about them past couple of weeks and even a little bit today already. Mac Jones looked just like Brock Purdy, who looked just like every other white guy that has played for the 49ers at QB. The Niners are going to be perfectly okay. Even with the other struggles that they've got, the other players that they've got injured, they still look all right. And in a different dimension, Mac Jones would have or should have been drafted by the Niners because he fits their mold a lot better. Like they like that classic pocket passer, big confident white dude in the pocket chucking it about. And poor, I'm gonna say Trey Lance, but I don't remember because it was that long ago and I don't care enough. Poor dude inevitably was always gonna get dropped for the cornbread white guy. And poor Mac Jones is still always going to be behind Brock Purdy because they've just paid Brock Purdy when, that maybe they didn't have to. However, Mac Jones looked perfectly great.
And the best bit about this was the rumours at the time that when the 49ers made that big haul to move up to 3 to pick Trey Lance, they actually made the haul to get Mac Jones. And then they did an open day with Trey Lance, and suddenly Shanahan got all of these ideas of how we could use him. And it changed, but the entire trade was to get Mac Jones. They wanted him. He fit the system just like you said. He's exactly what they need. He needs a pocket pass that can get out on time and everything else. And I mean, he was rookie of the year his first year in New England. He's not had the best situations. He's been an awful New England team. Belichick's lost legs. He was at the Jaguars. He's not had this kind of opportunity before and this kind of talent surrounding him. So yeah, I think you're spot on. I think he'll do really good things there. And as long as you've got CMC to pass the ball to 40 times a game, it's like
CMC was out there. Like he caught him. He was running. He was doing all of the stuff because he is their only target. I think this is the point in the pod where I get to point out that they were playing the New Orleans Saints, who at one point everyone was like, "Wow, the Saints look like they're going to win this." I'm going to keep saying it every single week. That's what we want you to think. The Saints are going to come down to the wire and almost look good enough to win a game, but they are not. They're not going to win any. Ethically tanking, going to get that number 1 spot. Just going to check that out there. Also, 2 teams with gold helmets feels wrong on TV. I think I texted you both that one because I was. It's not even a colorblind thing. I was just watching it and I was like, that's got to be confusing. If everyone's kind of like crouched down and there's just a sea of gold helmets, you're just looking for a black or white jersey. I don't know. That seems a bit rough. But yeah, so like I'm just going to rattle off the ESPN top 12 backups. Bearing in mind this section, I actually wrote this out. It's been sat in our notes since before we start the podcast. I was like, who would be the backup QBs that would be okay if the franchises needed to keep their like dreams alive? And it's been sat in the notes. I thought we'll probably pull this one out mid-season when maybe 1 or 2 people go down. I did not expect it to be on week 2. So here we are. The ESPN's top 12 backups are Cousins at Atlanta, obviously. Browning at Cincinnati. These are in number order. This is 1, 2. Dart at the Giants. Mariota at Washington. McKee at Philly. Jacoby Brissett at the Cards. Minshew at Kansas. Shook at New Orleans. Richardson at Indy. Dalton at Carolina. Wentz at Minnesota. Winston at the Giants. This week we're going to see Browning, Mariota, maybe, and at least Wentz, I think, Minnesota. So at least those 3. But, and obviously, weirdly enough, Mac Jones isn't in their top 12, which threw me completely because as I wrote mine, I was like, oh, did I miss that off? But what do we think, like backup QB? Who are you, either at that list or somebody else? Who are you right now if you're either one of the teams that are relying on a backup or a team that is thinking of needing a backup QB to start for you, who do you like? Who's the guy that you would go to right now if you went down and we needed to bring somebody in?
I wrote somebody down because they're playing this week. But actually, if it was for my team, are you talking about for my team or for the team that they're on? Because there's two very different answers there.
Well, give us both, Don.
If it was for my team, if the Bears, something happened to Caleb, I would want Winston. I would absolutely want Jameis Winston for two reasons. One, he's got loads of weapons and he just slings it. He doesn't care who's going to catch it. He'll just say, I'm going to throw it in that general direction. Someone's going to catch it and it's going to be fun. And I could do with a bit of fun. He's Jason from The Good Place. He's just going Bortles and eating it. So I'd like him in for entertainment value, and because there are decent receivers there, so it could just be entertaining, and he's always good for fantasy. Winston is gold for fantasy. But looking at the players that are there, Mac Jones is the obvious one to me, but next is Wentz, and not because I think Wentz is necessarily elite, because he's not, but he's experienced. He's worked with good coaches. Obviously, he was good in Philly before he got injured, but in that Super Bowl year before that injury, he was playing at MVP level. A lot of it was repeatable, lucky plays. He spent time with Andy Reid at Kansas, where he just doesn't get any game time because Mahomes tends not to get injured. And now he's got another good coach in Kevin O'Connell, who is one of the best coaches in the league. I expect the line to get better soon. For Minnesota, I think none of them, I don't believe many of those injuries on that line projected to be super long term. So he's got good protection. And they've got a really, really nice run the next few weeks. They're just doing the AFC North. So he's up against Jake Browning-led Bengals this week. He's facing the Browns and he's facing the Steelers. So he's facing the three AFC North teams that you want to face. Then it's a bye week. So that's a really nice run for an experienced backup like him. And then after the bye week, it's Green Bay. So it's perfect if he looks good in that run for the Vikings to say, we'll put you in there to get smushed against the Packers. And if you play well, we've got a good reason to keep you on and let McCarthy continue his growth. If not, we can't completely destroy McCarthy's confidence coming back from an injury to just get that treatment from Micah and friends.
So feed the Lions, not to the Lions, but feed into the Packers, and then because nobody expects him to do anything against the Packers, it's just thanks for coming, take the hits, and you'll be injured yourself. Maybe you get a sneaky little bonus or a special rub down or something.
That's Texas. That's Texas.
Oh, that is Texas, and sometimes in Cleveland.
Yeah. So I think he'll be there, and then week 8 you probably get JJ McCarthy flipping back in, and it's just a really nice time for him. I think he'll be fine. I think in that they'll probably win. They'll go 2-1, I imagine.
And I don't think they're expecting playoff football anyway from the Vikings from JJ's first year, especially when you look at the rest of the division now, really hammering for it. It's a good year to say, well, you know what? It's his not his rookie year per se, but he's just coming out. He's got injured, so play some games here and there, and then take the pressure off, and then hopefully everyone that's made the big push this year kind of disbands a little bit next year, and then it evens out for the Vikings, which is understandable. Vikings part of the for anybody watching along at home, Vikings part of the shelf of teams that, oh boy, you would have loved a win, wouldn't you? So we do have Washington, the Broncos, the Dolphins, and the Vikings on the hat shelf this week. Of boy, you tried, but nope, sorry. But yeah, Vikings keep that. God, so it's going to be a bit of a backup off, which leads us to Alex, who is the backup QB you trust, want to watch. Talk to me.
his number is literally the upside down of Joe Burrow. Let's not get this twisted. Jake Browning's mint. Like, he's not going to lead the Bengals to the playoffs, but he's fun, man. He'll do exactly the same thing as Jameis Winston. He'll just throw that ball wherever he goes, which is why in his career so far he's 4-3. He has got 3. The only thing that it is the Bengals schedule is awful. Like, it is really, really tough. That AFC North has really been like not very kind to anybody this season. It is a really, really tough one, which is kind of why a lot of people thought the Browns might go 0-17. Is just because it's rough. So obviously, as Pete already said, they've got the Vikings next week, which will be the playoff between him and Wentz. Then they go to the Broncos. Can we see them winning there? Maybe, possibly. They're going to get mauled by the Lions. Then they've got the Packers. Then they've got the Steelers in a divisional roundup game. And the Steelers are always up for that game and always put up a really big fight. Then they've got a couple of gimmies. Again, apologies, Pete, but they've got the Jets and then the Bears. And by November, everyone in the Bears organization might be like, right, let's blow this thing up. We're not going to bother with this season. Let's just completely do it. And then they've got the Steelers again. Then the Patriots, who'll be fighting for playoff football because that second spot in the wild card will be there in their division. Then they've got the Ravens, then the Bills, then the Ravens, and then potentially a Dolphins team that is slaughtered and sushi, and then you've got the Cardinals and Browns. So, like, it is not an easy run for Jake Browning to go throughout his time. It really isn't. Now, obviously, he's fun. He's really cool. And they have got loads of weapons. As you've already said, Joel, they've got loads of weapons. So could we have a little bit of a surprise and a little bit of cool things? We could do. But is Jake Browning a really good quarterback? No, he's not.
What I like is that you kind of described him as like, it's a QB that throws it based on vibes. Not is he open, just like, this feels like a good idea. Let's have it. Let's see what happens. No one's going to die. It's just football. You know, you can see him in the huddles and it's people are like, no, man, tell us the play. Like, we'll see. Just go. Great.
Just Ted Lasso at QB.
it'll all
be
work out.
The best fantasy person you can.
Absolutely. It's just it's pretty madness. That Brock, not Brock play, the Burrow thing is mad. And I've seen a few people say, look, yeah, he'll come back. It's like 20 of 25 have come back the following season from turf toe, which when everyone else says it, they go, only 20 of 25 have come back. That feels weird. Only 5 have ever had to not come back from turf toe. But it's like it comes back, you know, is he just going to get injured again and again and again? And there's a lot of like Andrew Luck, he likes to be called. There's a lot of Andrew Luck comparisons about he just like never be able to kind of get there, which is a bit of a shame. Just for my own fantasy team, Jaden Daniels, sprained knee, but is going to start. It's not Marcus Mariota, are we saying?
Yeah, it's rumored that he's not going to miss any games because the knee is able to be stood on, but not really run on. So it will change what they're looking at doing. Pete's question in all existence. Have we seen something else?
No, it's more that the knee. I think my brain when you said, "Oh, the knee can be stood on," I'm like, is that how the doctors are testing it now? I'd be right. It's fine. Yeah, it took me a minute to process that. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
fair enough. Well, what's the space? We'll keep an eye out for all of the super fun time backup QBs. Before going to the final thing, I did write a couple of thoughts that I'm just gonna randomly chuck out there before going to the final 2-minute drill. I've already talked about the Vikings. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Kansas City, 0-2. Pat Mahomes, first time it's been 0-2 since like, I don't know, like a sophomore year at high school or something like that. It's been a long time, but I've just put next to it. You'll have to see it. I'm not a hater of these types of things. It's just nice when humbling things happen. And I'm against the kind of like franchise. Denver score made it look close, but it didn't feel like it, did it? Like they were up 28-20 3 or 4 minutes into the second half, and then didn't score again for the rest of the game. And they only conceded 9 points, but all of a sudden they went from an 8-point lead to a 1-point loss. But they just didn't do anything for the entire second half. So that was pretty crazy. The Titans, quote, doing good by Ward, but the W's aren't coming. So they're running more and easing him in, which is nice. But at the same time, it's giving little trust to the number 1 pick of the draft. I don't see anybody talking about Ward at all. We even said this last week, and I thought, oh, maybe there'll be a bit more going on about it, but it isn't. We're all talking about JJ McCarthy and Christ, Brock Purdy and whatnot. Even Pat Mahomes isn't getting much of a shout out on a lot of things because it's just very, very middling work. And then I guess my last point, which I've already kind of brought up, was Green Bay makes everyone look pedestrian. The Lions, now Washington. And I've not seen who they've got this week. Green Bay. Oh, it's the Commanders. No, that's this week's. Who have they got in week 3? Green Bay. Browns. Oh, gosh. That's it, though. That seems unfair. Oh, God bless him.
Joe Flacco's going to be Joe Flatto.
Hey, love that. Right, on to the Team of the Drill this week, which is we're sticking with the Team of the Drill, pick 'em and flick 'em. For those of you that are in our pick 'em league, I think there's 20 odd or 18, 19 people, but it's going okay. A couple of quick shout outs before we get to our kind of sneaky choices or controversial ones. I just want to point out that Stevie31 and S Black are the I was going to say soul, but can 2 people be soul? They are both joint at the top with, I didn't put their score down, but they're crushing everybody else. I think they might have 28 points compared to everybody else, which is pretty legit when you think about it. And then also your friend of mine, May Blackburn, he was 100% correct until the Broncos the field goal. He had every single other game right, and if not for that weird penalty, he'd have picked them all in 1 week, which is pretty mad. I also want to give a nod to Alex, who went 8-8 in week 1 and has dragged himself up to 22-10. He went 14 to add that this week. Well done, mate. Well done. And to catch up with Pete, who is also at 22-10, I'm beating you both by 1, 29. And I've put my own little shout out there because I'm one of 11% of the world that chose Atlanta to win at the weekend. I'm very proud of that one.
Yeah. Says the Saints fan.
Yeah, that's fine. We're tanking. Okay. And Penix, I think Penix is fine. He's probably going to be better when we start getting better, which is going to be stupid and annoying. But yeah, I saw them winning. I was surprised at how few people actually backed Atlanta in the pick 'em, and those percentages aren't just our people. I think that's across the globe. Anyway, does anybody have any locks of the week, crazy picks, a sleeper or anything like that?
I wanted to do a shock of the week, and I wanted to do something really exciting, but I've only actually picked one underdog in all of mine, and they shouldn't be. The Cowboys are somehow underdog against Chicago, and with how Dak Prescott's playing, he's going to put up 400 points. So I don't think that will be a shock. I don't care what the odds say. I don't care that it's in Soldier Field. I think the Cowboys are going to run amok. So I'm going to say a team that's 0-2 are going to win, and I think Houston are going to win in Jacksonville. And the reason I'm saying that is the Bengals defense is not good, but Lawrence still managed to get picked off twice. Brian Thomas was making some really questionable decisions on his routes, like pulling up short. There's effort issues that you can see there on offense. Whereas Houston, their line is awful. It might be the worst defensive line in football. They still, because of CJ Stroud's mobility and how quickly he can get the ball out, he actually got sacked less than Mayfield did. He's 1 time less and for fewer yards than Mayfield did. And the Bucs are one of the best D lines in football, and the Texans are one of the worst O lines in football. So he can make things happen. And also, they've got top 3 secondaries in the NFL. Them and Broncos and the Ravens are probably the best secondary lines in football. So I think they're just going to absolutely bully Trevor Lawrence from start to finish. And I just can't see the Jaguars getting anything done against them.
Stroud looked both annoyed, upset, and tired whenever the camera cut to him this week. It just always looked like, oh, I've just got to keep running away. And then that brought on the tiredness.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody's ever had Discworld, he's basically Rincewind. He just spends his entire time running away from danger, but entertainment occurs, so it's fine. And that's him every single game, it feels. And as long as he's got Nico Collins, he's always got a shot. That Nico Collins touchdown pass was an absolute thing of beauty. Absolute thing of beauty. It was glorious.
It's like, it's going to make the 2025 highlight reel season, isn't it? Like when anybody looks back at like some of the best touchdowns of the year, that's going to be right there. I'm going to go with my lock of the week first. I've just realized that after having just gasped at who they're playing. If you're not back in Green Bay against Cleveland, you're insane. This is just simple, people. Just everybody now go change your pick to Green Bay. There's going to be 1 or 2 of you that are going to get cute and you're going to pick the Browns, but you're going to lose that point. It is not going to happen. And then I'll chuck in my against the odds before Alex can take us home. But my odd, I mean, it's going to be another gun, but my against the odds pick is I've taken the Lions over the Ravens.
Ooh.
That is quite literally just a contrary pick from me. I think the Ravens are the better team. I just think that the Lions are going to walk in with the chest really puffed out after like dropping 50. And now they get to go and possibly shake things up and try and keep everybody a bit humble. Nobody's running away with it so far. We're only 2 weeks in, but like if the Ravens can take a loss, if everyone could just take a loss pretty early, then it's going to make for a more interesting end of the season. Alex, pick 'em and flick 'em, bring us home, baby.
I've gone for I'm going to have the Saints beat the Seahawks this week.
Woohoo!
I think Spencer Rattler's one that no one's really talking about. He's not been terrible, everybody. There have been way worse QBs this season than Spencer Rattler has even been. And also, we have one big Alvin Kamara game every single season where he just drops it like he's 22 again and he's awesome. And we might have thought it was this week where he got 100 yards rushing in total because he had 40 yards rushing and some receiving or something like that. But he had a 100-yard game this week just gone. I expect them to lean more on him as well. Let's go for it. The Saints are going to beat the Seahawks.
3 touchdowns and 150 yards from Alvin Kamara.
He feels like the most untalked about future Hall of Famer in all of football because he plays on such an unfashionable, rubbish team. And he's an unreal. I think people just got bored of how good he is. So you just don't really hear people talk about him. Apart from when you mention him, they go, oh, yeah, he's really good, isn't he? Yeah, he really, really is.
Universally, everybody that talks about him says, yeah, he's good, or he's great, or I love him, or all sorts of stuff. And yeah, you're right. He doesn't get the shout out that he needs. There we go. The Saints beat the Seahawks. Alex obviously hasn't been listening to me for the past 3 weeks. Ethical tank, don't care. They're going to lose it at some point in the last couple of seconds of the game.
Saying that, sorry, I forgot to mention that this was Alvin Kamara's 12th 100-yard rushing game, which is tied for the 4th most in all of Saints history.
Right up there with Tyreek Hill. I assume. Not Tyreek Hill. Damn it, Taysom Hill. Damn it. I'm like the worst Saints fan. So far, every week, I've managed to screw up something Saints related. I'm just going to hang up the luchador mask. Any final thoughts?
Keep an eye out for unfashionable running backs this week. I'm going to talk about it next week. Oh, and Danny has said he thinks the Pats are going to beat the Steelers. I think I'm with him on that as well in the chat. I like that, Danny. I can see that happening as well. Definitely. I think Drake may got it together a bit this week, and I think against that Steelers defense, he could be able to do exciting things once again.
Couple of fun games that I've got to keep an eye on. Raiders Commanders in the early, and then Broncos Chargers is going to be the one for me. Unfortunately, they've given the Giants Chiefs to Monday night, so I can't watch the Giants live. So we'll just have to watch Scatbo's highlights after that.
Yeah, I like it. And game I'm going to be keeping a close eye on is Falcons Panthers. I think that's going to be a lot better than it looks. It's going to be one of those games you just go, that's going to be a rubbish game, and I think it's going to be box office.
I think the one that no one's really talked about is Eagles Bucks as well.
Yeah,
two very potential Super Bowl contenders. Boy, I tell you what, just briefly, because we haven't given enough love to Baker Mayfield on this podcast yet. When he went down and everybody thought he was injured, but then the power of being annoyed at the guy over him healed all of his wounds was just, honest to God, it was absolute cinema. I love it so much. Anyway,
Hulk Hogan his way back into the game.
He did, he really did.
Yeah.
It was just like anyone else would have stayed down. He was like, just immediately, the injury is gone. He's just getting up into somebody's face. Right. Baker glazing aside, thank you very much, everybody. We will see you next week. Have a fun time. Cool outro. Say.
That was, I was